Hi there. Welcome to Reading Time with Poppy. For this video, we're going to read a selection from Favorite Fairy Tales, 8 Magical Stories by Kidsbooks Publishing. The stories are retold by Nina Filipek and illustrated by Bruno Merz, Jacqueline and Katherine Kirkland. This recording is presented with permission of Kidsbooks Publishing. Our story for this video is Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time there lived a girl called Little Red Riding Hood. Everyone called her this because she always wore a red cloak and hood. One day, Little Red Riding Hood's mother asked her to take some bread and cakes to her grandma, who lived in the middle of the forest. Little Red Riding Hood set off down the path to her grandma's cottage in the forest. She passed a friendly woodcutter on the way. A wicked wolf was watching her, and as she came closer, he stepped out from behind a tree. "Hello, Little Red Riding Hood," he said, smiling. "Where are you going?" "To see my grandma," she replied. "Where does your grandma live?" asked the wicked wolf. "In the cottage under the big oak tree," she replied. The wicked wolf was very hungry. He thought Little Red Riding Hood would taste good to eat. He wanted to get to Grandma's cottage before she did, so he quickly said goodbye. The wicked wolf went straight to the cottage under the big oak tree. He knocked on the door pretending to be Little Red Riding Hood. "It's me, Grandma," he said in a squeaky voice. "Lift the latch and come in, my dear," Grandma replied. As soon as he stepped inside, the wicked wolf pounced on Grandma. He swallowed her in one gulp. Quickly he put on a nightdress and cap. Then he jumped into bed and waited. When Little Red Riding Hood arrived at the cottage, she saw that the door was open. "It's me, Grandma," she called out. There was no reply, so she went upstairs to Grandma's bedroom. Grandma was in bed, but she looked different. "Grandma, what big ears you have," said Little Red Riding Hood. "All the better to hear you with, my dear," replied the wicked wolf. "Grandma, what big eyes you have," said Little Red Riding Hood. "All the better to see you with, my dear. Come closer, child," replied the wicked wolf. "Oh, Grandma, what big teeth you have," cried Little Red Riding Hood. "All the better to eat you with," the wicked wolf snarled. Then he sprang out of bed and swallowed Little Red Riding Hood in one gulp. The friendly woodcutter had just finished his work and decided to call in at Grandma's for a cup of tea. When he arrived, the door was open, and Little Red Riding Hood's basket was on the table. "Grandma, Little Red Riding Hood," he called out. There was no reply, so he went upstairs to look for them. The wicked wolf was hiding under the bedclothes. But when the woodcutter came into the room, the wicked wolf leapt out of bed. The woodcutter saw the wicked wolf's big stomach and knew he must have eaten Grandma and Little Red Riding Hood. So he lifted his axe, and with one blow he killed the wicked wolf. Then he cut open the wicked wolf's stomach, and out came Grandma and Little Red Riding Hood. They were unhurt because the wicked wolf had swallowed them whole. Grandma made them all a cup of tea, and they ate the cakes that Little Red Riding Hood had brought. And they lived happily ever after. The end. Who's who? Based on what they are saying, can you guess which character from the story each speech bubble belongs to? I'm watching Little Red Riding Hood and her mother in the kitchen. Who am I? The wicked wolf wore my nightdress and cap. Who am I? I thought Little Red Riding Hood would taste good to eat. Who am I? I sat on the friendly woodcutter's axe when he went into Grandma's house. Who am I? There was a picture of me with Grandma on the wall in her house. Who am I? I saved Grandma and Little Red Riding Hood. Who am I? Were you able to guess them all? If not, that's okay. Maybe go and read it again. But either way, that's the end of this fairy tale. I'm glad you could join me. Until next time, try every day to be a better you. But remember, you are always worthy of unconditional love. We'll see you next time on Reading Time with Poppy. She must be very young.